Hi there, it's me again, Christine. Here I am in my studio with the same painting I was working on yesterday, and I have done a little bit of work while you've been away. So you might remember that there was a pot that was sort of only just there. Well, I've now put some design into it. I often use other elements in my paintings, so this is from a book I have, and you can see that I'm actually using a photograph as my resource material. I don't always have the exact right piece of still life that I need, so I often go to photographs and other things. So now what I want to do is put in some different colours. Now I've actually got on my palette at the moment ultramarine blue, cadmium red medium, cadmium yellow medium, and titanium white. So there's a bit of the purpley, delightful purpley blue that comes with ultramarine that I'm going to pop into some of these elements that I've just mapped out really. I often work like this, mapping out a bit of something and then filling it in a very loose style. My style is pretty happy-go-lucky really. Now I can see from my resource that there's a lovely bit of purpley blue just in this area, so we'll just pop that in there. And down the bottom here where I used Prussian blue to just map that out, and now I'm going to put a bit of ultramarine in there. It's a much richer, more purpley blue. Believe it or not, this will gradually come together, even though it's looking pretty messy at the moment. So we'll just go across here. You can always finesse. That's the beauty of painting with acrylic, because you don't have to be perfect. You can paint over and you can use other colours to kind of make things happen. And sometimes if you've got an active palette like this, where there are a few different colours on it, you can just allow things to happen sometimes, and sometimes you get a happy accident. I mean, it may be, I know my students often go, I made a mistake, I didn't want that to be there. But you know what? Sometimes when you've made a mistake, it actually turns out to be really good in the end. So I learned from one of my teachers, just leave it there for the time being. You might find that it works. Now, we need a bit of colour in this. It's getting a bit dull. So let's put some nice bright oranges in here. Something to lift the spirits, especially on this day where we're going into a fairly lockdown sort of situation in Australia. I'm of an age where I'm supposed to be reasonably isolated, so it's pretty nice for me. I can just paint and talk to you people. So in my resource there's a bit of a person here wearing some red. Let's pop that in. Doesn't have to be perfect, doesn't have to look exactly like a human being. I just want to get some of those colours in, and then take a good hard look at it later and see what I'm actually dealing with. You can see that I'm pretty slapdash. Now there's a bit up here too, just on the top of that pot. Okay, I'm probably going to add more because I like colour. Right, so that's a starting point. Now going to go to the yellow, the cadmium yellow medium. Mix it. I tend to mix things on the sort of on the brush, not entirely on the palette, because I like that sort of mixture that occurs where you don't get, you know, an absolutely pure colour. You get a kind of exciting mixture happening. So you can see that this is, in some places it's sort of yellow, and in some places it's more orangey. You can see there's a bit of colour happening. That's exciting. Do love colour. Now, something's got to go in there eventually. We'll do that in a while. And there's a bit of orange around here, a bit of red. Okay, so how's that looking? It's brighter than it was, isn't it? It's a bit brighter, a bit more exciting. I think we're going to need something up here too. And over here, oh, there's some fine lines here. I'm going to have to use a fine brush when I get onto that section. Now, a bit more. Let's pop a bit more white into there. I'm going to add a little bit of blue to it, just to make it. Because there's some areas where there's a sort of palish blue, and I'm just going to mix the ultramarine with the titanium white to get that lovely fresh. That's a really lovely fresh blue, a bit like the sky. And if we've got it down here on either side of this sort of palm tree effect. You can see that this isn't so much. Well, I'll have to look at it and read read about this pot a bit more, but it doesn't. It seems like it's quite a modern take on a Chinese vase or pot. So when I get round to doing the next bit for you. Maybe I'll have done some research and actually looked at what I'm actually dealing with here in this pot. Because I have to confess, I'm not quite sure about what its provenance is. So let's just get that in there, move that away. We've also got a bit of that blue here. I think it's coming along. I'm not unhappy. Not unhappy with the way this is looking. Don't know what it looks like from your angle, but yeah. Okay, for now, I'm going to stop, and we'll pick it up again maybe tomorrow or the next day. Thanks very much for your time.